We Love Facts presents 10 Most Bizarre Medical Treatments Ever. Eye cataract surgery. During the Middle Ages, cataract surgery was performed with a thick needle or a sharp instrument to remove the cataract through the cornea and force the eye lens out of the capsule and to the bottom of the eye. The operation could sometimes be successful, but more often it resulted in infection or destruction of the eye. Thankfully, eye surgery changed rapidly once Islamic medicine began to influence European practices, replacing the knifing with suction methods. Electrical impotence cures. Electricity was also considered to be a cure for flaccidity, and in the 19th century, battery technology advanced to the level where men could wear electric belts that hid under their clothes and provided regular shocks to the penis with a wire loop that coiled around the organ. Some also provided jolts to the prostate for good measure. These belts were intended to be worn constantly to gradually restore vigor to the unit, and tens of thousands of them were sold between 1890 and 1920 before they went out of fashion. Hot iron for hemorrhoids. In the Middle Ages in Europe, people believed that if a person did not pray to Saint Fiacre, they would suffer from, well, you guessed it, hemorrhoids. Saint Fiacre was the protector against hemorrhoids. Popular treatment was cauterization with a hot iron and/or making an incision with a sharp knife. Sufferers could also use less painful but less effective alternative methods, such as sit on St. Fiacre's famous rock, the spot where the 7th century Irish monk was miraculously cured of his hemorrhoids. By the 12th century, Jewish doctor Moses Maimonides prescribed a much less painful method, a soak in the bath. Heroin cough syrup. In the late 19th century, German drug company Bayer made its first fortunes when it commercialized both aspirin and heroin as cough, cold, and pain remedies. It was possible to see vintage advertisements of Bayer's heroin brand medicine bottles, but it's less widely known that Bayer promoted heroin for use in children suffering from coughs, colds, and irritation. We should also mention that Bayer used to be called IG Farben, a pharmaceutical and chemical conglomerate that allegedly sponsored experiments by Nazi torturers. Trepanning. Drilling holes in people's skulls has been traced back thousands of years. Researchers can only speculate on how or why this grisly form of brain surgery first developed. The practice was believed to alleviate pressure and treat health problems localized within the head, though it was also thought to cure epilepsy, migraines, and mental disorders, and was a common fix for more physical problems such as skull fractures. Historical evidences show that many of the patients survived the surgery. Moldy bread. In ancient Egypt, specialists used to use moldy bread in cleaning and disinfecting cuts as they believed fungi blocks the entry of disease-causing bacteria and virus through skin breaks. But what might sound crazy makes some sense. Everybody knows about penicillin. Bloodletting. Bloodletting is the withdrawal of blood from a patient to cure or prevent illness and disease. For thousands of years, medical practitioners clung to the belief that sickness was merely the result of a little bad blood. Influential physicians like Hippocrates and Galen maintained that the human body was filled with 4 basic substances or humors: yellow bile, black bile, phlegm, and blood, and had to remain in proper balance to maintain health. Medieval doctors prescribed blood draining as a treatment for everything from a sore throat to the plague, and some barbers listed it as a service along with haircuts and shaves. Tongue cutting. In the 18th and 19th centuries, doctors thought that the best way to treat someone with a stutter was to cut off half of his or her tongue. This treatment is called hemoglossectomy, and since this clearly didn't work to fix a stutter and many patients died as a result of infections and blood loss, you have to wonder how many times this was done before somebody decided that it just didn't work. Often, this bizarre treatment is still used today, but only to treat oral cancer. Farts in a jar. During the medieval period, some doctors believed like cures like. So, when confronted by the Black Death, which was thought to be caused by lethal vapors, some doctors were convinced that the key to fighting the disease was to use a bit of therapeutic stink. They recommended flatulence stored in jars and open the jars when the plague hit town. Sounds really crazy now, but the Black Death was no joke. Between 1348 and 1350, it killed 30 to 60% of Europe's population. The stinky jars didn't help. Urine diagnosis. In medieval Europe, doctors often diagnosed their patients on the basis of uroscopy. Sounds scientific, but it really amounted to nothing more than having a look at the patient's urine. Doctors would observe the urine smell, consistency, and even its taste. In fact, holding a flask of urine against the light was as much a symbol of medicine in medieval times as a white coat and stethoscope are today. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, don't forget to hit a subscribe button for more. Stay tuned for a new amazing video coming soon.